Thank you Squarespace for sponsoring this video. The human's potential for evolution is limitless. Isaac Netero. Now, why the hell does that even matter? That's not even the same series. Regardless, I thought it was a cool quote, and I think it applies here. Either way, though, does Luffy even qualify as human? Because he is literally a monster. Well, not literally, but he pretty much is. I don't know. He eats like a monster. Today, we're here to talk about Luffy, obviously, and Luffy's evolution and his potential, because I think it's limitless. I don't have to sell you on Luffy's growth. It is pretty apparent how much Luffy grows and how quickly he grows, even to the point where some people have a problem with it. Okay, how about we do the same with the channel? How about we grow so much that some people start having a problem with the growth? And you can do that by subbing to the channel. Let's make people have an issue with just how much people are subbing to the channel. This YouTube channel's potential for evolution is limitless, but I can't do it without your help. So, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications, drop a like. Now let's talk about our favorite Straw Hat boy, Luffy. Well, I mean, I don't know how many Straw Hat boys we have. We have a few in the series. I mean, Shanks technically is a Straw Hat boy. Roger technically is a Straw Hat boy. Then we have Joy Boy, who we figure is a Straw Hat boy because of Imu. And okay, you know what? We're getting off the path a bit, but you catch my drift. Luffy's just, all right, he's our favorite Luffy. I mean, we don't have, anyway, in the recent chapter of One Piece, if you haven't read the chapter, I don't care, you're gonna get spoiled. We have Luffy, and it seems like he went directly into Snake Man, landed an epic attack on Kaido, then went right back to his regular form. Now, when I first saw Snake Man, I'm like, oh my God, we're about to see Snake Man, we're about to go crazy. No, it was just one punch, and he went right back. So, what does this mean? Is Luffy evolving? Is Gear 5th on the way? I've made videos about Gear 5th. It'll be in the comment section. Well, not in the comment section. Probably be in the comment section as well, but it'll be in the description box down below. But I think Luffy has been evolving, I mean, the entire series, obviously. But I think this evolution, well, I noticed it post-Katakuri. I think Luffy versus Katakuri is one of the more controversial topics in One Piece for a reason. It's valid because a lot of people feel like Katakuri was stronger, but Luffy, again, evolved. And I think Luffy's room for growth, it is literally limitless. Luffy will become the strongest. Wait, do I actually believe that? Stick a pin. We'll talk about that at some point. But Luffy will become one of the strongest characters to ever walk the face of the earth. That's just how much potential he has.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Squarespace is an amazing online platform in which you can create your own beautiful website. Here you can create a community with fully integrated interactions through comments and likes, where you can connect with your audience through gated members-only content, along with email communications and leveraging audience insights. There are awesome tools to help you manage inventory, reconciling, and even bookkeeping. It can even automatically push website content to your favorite social media channels so your followers can share it too. Go to squarespace.com for a free trial, and whenever you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/B.D.A. law to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's just how much potential he has. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I'm so happy Oda has expanded upon what Conqueror's Haki means in the story, because before it felt like it was just a fodder mechanism. We've gotten to the point where Conqueror's Haki is actually very valuable, very useful, and it can amplify your strength. We're not sure exactly how much. This is One Piece, you know, we're gonna take some time to get to that. However, it can definitely amplify your strength, your attacks, and I really can't wait to see just the strongest Conqueror's Haki user just go ham. And yes, I'm talking about Shanks. So again, back to Luffy versus Katakuri. I think this fight showed exactly Luffy's positive traits and why Luffy will continue to evolve. One, he knows when to run away. That boy can run away when it's time, when it's necessary, but sometimes it is needed. Secondly, Luffy is very observant. In battle, it seems like Luffy's just goofing off, just trying anything, where for the most part he is, but he's also very observant. He notices what an opponent does, and then he tries to counter, or he tries different things to get around what you do best. In a Katakuri fight, Katakuri was pretty much mocking him. If not for the Merienda, we wonder how things would have gone, but it doesn't matter. It happened. And Luffy was able to figure out Katakuri's powers, where it's, for the most part, his crazy observation haki. Now, based off of that, Luffy implemented a strategy to wear Katakuri down, dodge, duck, evade, and then get a few hits in. This strategy was also present in Luffy versus Cracker. Not the same exact one. So his fight, eat, run, repeat. And that's how Luffy was able to overcome Cracker with Nami's help. So again, Luffy is really great at adapting. If you do not take out Luffy early, early, he will adapt and you will figure out a way to beat you. But then going back to Luffy's Gear 4th and how I think it continues to progress is this goes back all the way to Dressrosa, where Luffy used Gear 4th, he's fighting Doflamingo for a little bit over 20 minutes, then all of a sudden he can't fight anymore. Now, the misconception is that in Dressrosa, Luffy could not move, he had to be carried. Well, he chose to be carried at that point, but I think Oda was trying to illustrate something here, that Luffy, while he could run, he probably was too weak to even evade Doflamingo, but he could move. He said he could, but he was scared of what Doflamingo could do. So again, putting that in the story is saying, well, he could move, but right now it's probably best for someone to carry him because he probably can't move well. When we get to Katakuri, the same thing happens, but Luffy is moving pretty well to the point that he could pick up Brûlé and jump out of the mirror world against someone like Katakuri, who is pretty fast himself. So slight evolution, but it's necessary and apparent. Now, what people always bring into question is Luffy's timing and when he chooses to do things. So Luffy versus Katakuri, people always question, well, Snake Man, was it always there? Because it's never really explicitly stated that Snake Man needed Future Sight to be used. Matter of fact, I think it's pretty clear Snake Man does not need Future Sight to be used. Then why did Luffy not use Snake Man even all the way back in Fishman Island? All the way back in Dressrosa? Well, it just wasn't time. And I think the flashback with Rayleigh, it made it clear exactly what was going on here. Somewhat why Luffy chose to use Snake Man at the time that he did, and why Rayleigh's teachings about observation haki came into play at that point. Luffy is a sophisticated fighter. At some point, I'll make a video on his fighting style, but it's pretty much freeform. It's based on the opponent he's fighting. Sometimes he does play down to the competition, but one thing he's always going to do is that he will adapt and evolve. So, Gear 4th. Going into Wano, we had a perception of it. It's really strong, but it has a nasty drawback. So for that, Luffy will struggle against commanders. We saw versus Katakuri, he had to run, had to use Brûlé, needed a bit of help from Katakuri himself to overcome that. And we can't forget about Cracker, how Nami was definitely necessary for him to overcome Cracker. So then it's saying, well, Luffy, what are you going to do when you don't have these aids? Well, we go to Wano, and one thing we knew for certain that Luffy needed was to master Gear 4th, to get Gear 4th to a point that he could use it anytime he wants without the nasty drawback of no haki for 10 minutes. Because if you're fighting someone like Kaido and you can't use haki for 10 minutes, that normally spells doom or despair. I mean, a roof piece, it happened to him then, but he had others to pick him up and to aid him. So no matter what, Luffy's special power, the ability to bring people around him, to have people basically aid him in situations in which he needs help, that will always be a part of him. That will always be a part of his fights because that's a special power. And I think that special power that Luffy has represents the Straw Hats as a crew. Luffy doesn't have to do everything because he has so many people around him who are really damn good at what they do. So for the most part, he can just be Monkey D. Luffy, and that's good enough for them to get to this point. Again, in Wano, Gear 4th needed to be upgraded. Oh, another thing, because we get to Udon, and Luffy's base form, it was pathetic. Doflamingo was doing anything with it, Katakuri for a while was doing anything with it, then Luffy got stronger. Anyway, but Luffy's base form had to get stronger. In Udon, he's training with Sea Stone Cuffs, and he's lifting weights, getting stronger, physically stronger, and you can see there's a slight difference in his appearance as well. Also in Udon, he meets Hyogoro. Hyogoro knows Ryo. Now, for people in the comment section, the smartasses, Ryo is haki, I get it. But from Hyogoro, he learns advanced armament. Now, for advanced armament, it had been one of the more peculiar conversations to talk about or to dissect because it is somewhat confusing because there are levels to this level of armament. Do you guys hear what I just said? There are levels to this level of armament. Anyway, Luffy basically jumped 2 levels in regards to armament haki in Udon, where he learned what Hyogoro could do, but also he jumped him because then he learned what Rayleigh could do. So Luffy at that point had grown his armament haki so then he could penetrate scales, for instance, and deal a lot more damage than he normally would. But then what does this mean for Gear 4th? Well, a lot of people, including myself, I assumed that because he was learning the flow, because that's what Ryo is all about, the flow of haki, and basically controlling the flow to a point that it's a burst that is strong enough to knock back your opponent. I assume because Luffy was learning the flow of haki, at that point, Luffy will be able to control the flow of haki within his body and be able to regulate it a bit better and not be as inefficient as he is in Gear 4th, specifically Bound Man. Everyone around him, when they've seen him fight, they've talked about how inefficient Bound Man is, and that is not for no reason. Bound Man, Gear 4th, Bound Man, Gear 4th in general will be perfected, and Luffy will then jump to an entirely new level. That's why this chapter was so amazing, because him jumping into Snake Man, using an attack and jumping out, that's cool, but the fact that he used a Congress Haki coded attack, then jumped back out, that's telling me Luffy is evolving. Why? He did this with Gear 4th Bound Man before. Jumped in, did an attack, then jumped back out. Now he's doing it with Snake Man. Let me ask you guys a question. question. Do you think Tank Man could be next? Not full version, Tank Man, because we saw full version for a reason. I believe we will soon see Tank Man. Luffy jumps in to defend and attack, then jumps back out. Luffy is trying things. And one thing we can't forget, Luffy has an amazing ability to adapt. Do you remember Kaido? Kaido was going in between his dragon form, his human form, and he had a hybrid form. What if Luffy has a hybrid form for all of his gears, where he implements Snake Man, implements Bound Man, implements Tank Man? Then here comes this new form entirely because it has all the best attributes of all these different forms. I think it would be spectacular. But guys, is Luffy's Gear 4th evolving? I don't think it's just about Gear 4th. I think Luffy himself is evolving. If you've paid attention to Luffy from the beginning of Wano, there's a sense of maturity that he has now that he hadn't displayed the entirety of the series. I mean, from what he did in Udon, he's done that before, but never to this level. It feels different. It feels like he's growing up, but we're not losing the essence of Luffy. He's just handling things a bit more maturely. But he's still gonna play around, still gonna be the fun-loving captain that we know him to be, but there's a different sense of urgency. That's why I can't wait till the end of Wano, because then we see Luffy's decision. What will you do, Joy Boy? Well, I expect Luffy to say, get the hell out of here. I'm not Joy Boy. I'm Monkey D. Luffy and I like meat. Hopefully he says pause. We just gotta pay attention because it's subtle, but the growth is there. Luffy's back on the rooftop because he feels like he has something that can defeat Kaido. With Roof Beast, it went from Kaido completely shrugging off their attacks to Red Rock completely decking him to Luffy with a regular attack, Kaido then dodging it. Then Luffy mocking him saying, why are you dodging now, Kaido? Is it gonna hurt? Luffy's evolving and I really can't wait to see that final evolution. But guys, give me your thoughts. How do you feel about all this? Do you think Luffy's evolving or do you think the gears in particular are evolving? Because I think all of them is evolving, and that of course is going to transfer to the gears. But guys, give me thoughts. How do you feel about it? Make sure to like the video if you did. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter at BrogDAce. Follow me on Instagram at BrogD.ace. Thank you to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Guys, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
I start doubting me, I felt lost. I rewrite it.